Hi, I'm David. Welcome to the channel. I'm a little late to the game here, but I've been flying my Mobula 6 HD for about a month now. I'm a frequent 65mm whoop flyer. I fly my regular Mobula a lot. And yeah, I just wanted to give you guys a little review of this little drone. In this video, we're gonna talk about the specs, what's in the box, how does it fly. We're gonna talk about the HD camera, of course. We're gonna talk about flight times, the mods I did and I'm gonna do to it. Yeah, I'm just gonna tell you how I feel about it and who this drone is for. You've probably seen a lot of Mobula 6 HD reviews by now, so there are timestamps in the description below if you want to skip to a certain part. First up, what's in the box? Of course, we got our drone, the Mobula 6 HD. You get 4 250 mAh batteries with it. Normally they come equipped with a PH2 connector. I switched that out to the BT 2.0 after doing some tests with the original connector. I just like the BT 2.0 better. It gives you a little bit longer flight time and you know this battery sag a lot less. You get 4 props, extra props, a charger, a prop tool, a button pad. This allows you to change the settings on the RunCam FPV camera, not the HD camera. And we get a screwdriver, always handy. We also get this manual that will take you to the steps of setting it up for the first time. The specs, it weighs about 27 grams without a battery and 34 grams with a battery, which is quite heavy for a 1S 65mm whoop. The frame is the Happy model frame we got to know from the Mobula 6. It's actually this frame, only they made the stand-ups a little bit longer, so they had space to place the DVR board above the FC board. The FC board is the Crazy Bee F4 Lite. I got the Free Sky version. You can also get this in a DSM2, DSMX, and the Crossfire version. It's an F4 processor, and you got some spare UARTs if you want to solder up your own receiver to it. There are no camera in or outs, so you can't mount your own VTX. Oh, I got my hand in front. So you can't mount your own VTX. The Free Sky board is an all-in-one board, which means you get an SPI receiver on the board. This is your receiver antenna. And you got your VTX antenna right here. It's a 25 milliwatt built-in VTX. The motors are a new design. They've got a curved bell right now. These are 19,000 kV motors. I've been flying the 25,000 kV motors on my Mobula 6, and on the Mobula 6 I had motors with a motor bell slipping off, not all of them, but some of them. And after a while, when the motor bell was slipping off, it would start to rub against these motor wires and the motor wouldn't want to spin up anymore, so I had to push it back up. I tried gluing some. Yes, sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. Yeah. So far I didn't have any problems on these new motors, so yeah, fingers crossed. The props are the normal 3-blade chamfer props we find on all Mobula 6s. They're good props, nothing more to say about those. This canopy is the canopy that is used on the Larva X. This canopy is a lot harder than the Mobula 6 canopy, probably because the Mobula 6 canopy introduced a lot of jello in the footage and they placed a pad right underneath the camera to try and solve that issue, but it never really got fixed. This one is hard, but it's not brittle, so I don't expect it to break easily. The canopy also allows you to change the camera tilt from almost flat to about 30 degrees, which is a lot with this type of drone. Most of us won't be flying it so fast. You need that much camera tilt. Now let's talk about the camera a little bit. First up, the FPV camera. You cannot change the camera settings, but they are quite good out of the box. It's very comparable to the Runcam Nano 3, the original one. I don't have the second version of that camera, so I can't tell you about that one, but the original one was a very good camera, and so is this one. The colors and the details are very good, and I feel like it handles going from dark to light even better. That's probably because the size of the lens is a little bit bigger. Next up, and probably what you came for, the HD cam. It uses the same lens as the FPV cam and can shoot up to 1080p 60 frames per second. Colors are great and there is a lot of detail in the picture. Inside I had no jello. Outside I did have some jello, but maybe playing around with the screws can resolve this issue. I will let you know if I can get it jello free. When recording 1080p at 60 frames per second, it recorded at 30 megabytes per second. This blue board on top is your DVR board with access to the SD card slot right here. Hope you can see that. It's very difficult to access using your fingers, so I use a pair of tweezers to get my SD card in and out, and even then it's quite a hassle. If you short press the button right here, you can stop or start recording. If you long press it, you're gonna power off the DVR board and the camera. The connector for the button pad. This is the connector for the button pad. It's also impossible to access without loosening up the screws, so I used a utility knife to trim off a little bit of the plastic right here to get the connector in and out without having to take it apart. Once you do manage to get it connected, you can use it to change your HD camera settings, so you can set it up to get the best image possible. So how does it fly? It flies on Betaflight 3.5.7. It's a pretty good tune right out of the box. I just upped yaw, P and I a little bit to get the tracking corners better. And you do notice the weight when flying. You need 50 to 60% throttle just to get it off the ground. And when you drop the throttle a little bit too much, it drops like a brick. Flying it in my apartment, I found it was difficult to navigate it through the narrow corridor style pathways or chair and table legs. I did get used to it, but if you don't care about the HD, a lighter tiny whoop is a lot easier to fly and in my opinion more fun. But then I took it outside and I flew it in my buddy's basement. With a lot more room to play with, I actually liked how it flied. Giving it more space really masks its weight. So what mods have I done to it? I put a BT 2.0 connector onto it, as well as my batteries. This gave me more flight time, even up to 30 seconds, and you got less noticeable battery sag, so you get a better flying experience. I set up a throttle curve to try and find some longer flight times, but actually my flight time got shorter. I think Happy Model got a sweet spot in motor KV in relationship to the weight and the setup they got. I guess when you are setting up a throttle curve, you just need more throttle to keep it up in the air and you're wearing out the battery a little bit more. I'm also planning on converting it into a 75mm whoop with a TBS VTX capable of 400 milliwatts and a crossfire receiver. This way it will be able to carry the weight better and hopefully get longer flight times. I will not have to worry about fail-safing no more, and 400 milliwatt VTX will give me the ability to fly further and have more penetration power when exploring. I will have a full build guide and review when it's ready. So next up, flight times. With the PH2 connector and 250 mAh batteries, we got about 2 minutes to 2 minutes 30 seconds of flight time, which isn't very much. And when I switched it over to a BT 2.0 connector, I got up to 3 minutes on the 250 milliamp hour battery, which is quite a big improvement. I've tried 300 milliamp hour batteries as well with a BT2 connector, and I got a little over 3 minutes, like 3 minutes 15, maybe 3 minutes and a half, but that's really stretching the battery there. I also tried the 450 milliamp hour batteries on the BT 2.0 connector, but they didn't really increase my flight times anymore. I just noticed a lot more weight, and also I had to place it below the battery tray. I had to strap it below, so there was a real pendulum effect when trying to take a corner. So yeah, I wouldn't go there if I were you. I also tried running this on 48 kilohertz. It made my flight a lot smoother, but I didn't really notice any change in flight times, maybe 10 to 15 seconds more, but that's all I got from it. When first flying this, I had a lot of trouble flipping it over. Turtle mode didn't really work on this model very good, so I used to walk over and put it right on its feet again. But then after a while I noticed if I tried flipping front to back, so on the pitch axis, it flipped actually a whole lot better than when trying to flip it on the roll axis, which didn't really work. It just moved around on the floor. So yeah, if you're having problems like me flipping it over, try it. So what do I think of it? You get a lot of drone for the price. For only 20 to 25 euros more than a Mobula 6, you get an excellent HD camera with it. The weight of the HD camera is also what holds this little quad back of being a great tiny whoop. It flies okay, but don't expect it to be very fast or agile. You will have to get used to this, especially in tight spaces. But the HD cam is also what will make it a great tiny whoop for some. If you want to make that special shot flying through an impossible tiny gap, this is the drone for you. And if you don't care about long flight times or crazy freestyle, go for it. You will not be disappointed with this one. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comment section below. I will try to answer them as best I can. If you liked the video, hit that like button, and if you are interested in the 75mm conversion, subscribe and hit the notification bell. See you in the next one. Bye.